Holmes, and this is...
My name's Trish Holmes.
We're both from Wilmington, North Carolina, and now we're back home. We have 2 girls now, and we wanted to get back closer to the grandparents who all live here. We love all the grandparents. We're so thankful for them. Our oldest daughter is 4.5 now, and she had a large nevus on her scalp, right here, and it was probably about the size of about the circumference of a tennis ball, maybe a little larger. And we had no idea what it was. Of course, we initially thought it was a bruise because it was a long labor, and she had the egg head, and like a lot of babies do. And so we're like, oh, it's a bruise or something. And the doctor came over, and the doctor actually knew the term. She's like, I think that's a nevus.
We couldn't find anyone at the hospital that ever heard of exactly what August had. The doctor the night before had said she had a nevus, but no one really knew what it was. And so the next day they came in and they said that they recommended an MRI. That's whenever I found Nevus Outreach, because I started researching and seeing what's going on. I contacted Nevus Outreach, actually emailed them and told them everything that was going on. And they put me in contact with the regional director, and put me in the Facebook group, and everyone was just so helpful and really helped me feel comfortable in that moment, and also gave me a great resource and other parents that have been through it. The worst part of it was that no one really knew what was going on in that moment, and I had to figure it out. I guess we had to figure it out.
Yeah, she figured it out. I'm on the board and as the treasurer on the finance committee, and that was really through just Trish being involved. She told me that they one of the areas that they needed help was finance, and so she volunteered me for that, which everyone gets a kick out of. So she volunteered me for that. She's like, hey, I volunteered you for this to help out with Nevus Outreach. I was like, oh, okay.
Can you say hi? What's your name?
August.
Hello, August. How old are you?
4.
This is Matthew, and this is Amon. Can you say hi? Hi, Matthew. Hi, Amon.
Hi, Matthew. Hi, Amon.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Are you up past your bedtime?
Is it past your bedtime already?
Yeah.
Are you supposed to be in bed right now?
I'll just say hi.
All right. Well, Matthew and Amon got to go night-night soon, just like you. So you want to go play for a little while longer before you go night-night?
Looking up.
Can you say hi? What's your name?
August.
Hello, August. How old are you?
4.
This is Matthew, and this is Amon. Can you say hi? Hi, Matthew. Hi, Amon.
Hi, Matthew. Hi, Amon.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Are you up past your bedtime?
Is it past your bedtime already?
Yeah.
Are you supposed to be in bed right now?
I'll just say hi.
All right. Well, Matthew and Amon got to go night-night soon, just like you. So you want to go play for a little while longer before you go night-night? Did get it removed. I guess how long before the conference? We'd had it removed.
I think she was going through expansion.
So yeah, so she was actually going through the expander process during I guess during the conference. She was still in the thick of it. And she had like an expander up here and back here, and because it was right here, and so now it's now basically what's left of it, the remnant, is that there's kind of a zigzag scar, bald spot, and then she has some white hair, I guess, that it grows out, which I think they say is like a normal thing.
What are the struggles that you have faced so far as parents of not only a young child, but just one that had a CMN and removal surgery? Were there any fears that you had going into surgery, and do you have any fears or any struggles you think as the years go on?
It's a great question. I think initially the fear was not knowing enough about it. That's prior to finding Nevus Outreach, and making sure that are we going to be able to be advocates for her if we don't know exactly what is going on. And so that's why it was great to find Nevus Outreach to kind of help us with that, and that helped ease those fears. And really, whenever I found Nevus Outreach, especially the Facebook group, and I remember doing the first post, and all of these people were commenting underneath it, just saying like, enjoy the baby snuggles. This will be, we're here for you. We're here to support you. Here's everything you're going to need to know.
It was a weird, again, roller coaster of emotions, because there was part of me that was like, kind of wishing we didn't get it removed. After I saw oh my God, there's this whole community that she could have been, and she still can be a part of, but she just will be like someone that had it removed. And we struggled with that decision. And that was some of the emotional times I got during the conference, was talking to people, Nevus owners that had removal surgery or partial removal surgery, and what did they feel? Talking to teenagers of like, God, what did you feel about your parents' decision to do this when you were like a little kid or a baby, and they made this decision for you, which is what we did. Obviously, she was 3 years old at the time. We made the decision for her, and we're like, we think this is what's best. The doctor tells us that it's going to reduce the chance of melanoma developing later, so we did it. And that was some of the emotional conversations that I had. So like, hey, how did you kind of feel toward how did your parents handle the fact that you had this condition, and how did that impact you, and what can we do as parents to be the best parent to our child that we can. Those are obviously some of the most emotional conversations that you can have, because you're talking about your baby girl, and how the decisions you make impact her, and wanting to make every right decision as a parent. That's difficult. And
our first dermatology appointment was really great, because the dermatologist knew about nevi, and the original dermatologist did not. And they were saying that we were going to need to get a biopsy, do all of these things. And whenever we saw her, she immediately put us at ease and said we didn't need to do any of that. And she kind of put us at ease about everything and told us it was completely normal. We're good to go. She's safe. And she did tell us some of the risk, but that there was very minimal. And
yeah, I mean,
just gave us more information and really educated us about it. And that made us feel a lot more comfortable, just having more information and kind of know what's going on. Fears actually just thought about was the nevus started changing at one point. When she was first born, it was the only place with hair, and it was very long hair and very dense. And then as she got older, she started losing her hair in that area. And then the nevus lightened, and the doctor told us that's common, and kind of started looking like chocolate chips almost in that area. And then it was almost to where you couldn't see it, but she lost all hair in that area. And I was really concerned about that at that point, and started reaching out on the Nevus Outreach group. And she lost all of her hair on the nevus, and that's whenever people thought like we shaved it, and she just started losing her hair. And then we reached out and we found out that it does happen to some people. And I actually found a few adult Nevus owners in the Facebook group and spoke to them about it, and they were wonderful. They would message me and tell me if it did happen to them, what they did, and just having great conversations with them. That was very helpful. So one of the things that I remember that he mentioned to me was there was a seminar where I guess a panel of adult Nevus owners there. And he was able to ask them questions, and other parents could ask questions to them. And I know he found that to be so helpful, because our 3-year-old, couldn't really communicate with us. And also it's nice to see like what they went through, and to talk to them about even I think at that, well, before that, even little things like what do you do if when it itches so much, or the skin's thinner there, and little things like that were really helpful talking to adults. And also how we can talk to her about it in the future, and anything that they had, any advice.
To go to the conference really kind of brought it home for me, like the impact that it has. I cried a lot at the conference. I'll try not to cry here tonight. Yeah. But yeah, it's just, man, like the impact that the organization has, and seeing all the kids together, and having the time of their lives. It was really really cool experience. I initially kind of thought, well, we'll probably, like, I didn't know about Nevus Outreach, and nobody else. I probably thought we'll get this nevus removed from her head and we'll never think about it again, right? It'll be gone and we'll kind of move on from it. And then getting involved with the board, I was like, oh man, that's another level that you're like, oh wow, now I'm kind of committed to this thing. And then going to the conference, and I'm like, oh wow, this is a really great organization, and something that I want us to kind of remain involved with, throughout our lives. So anyway, that was it for me. It's just kind of a transition from, hey, this is something that my daughter has that I don't know anyone else that has it, never seen anyone else that has it. We're going to take care of it, and then we're just going to kind of move on with our lives and forget it ever happened. To now, like, this is something that we plan to be a part of forever. So yeah, that was and part of that was the impact that the conference had on me, in addition to my involvement with the board.
Given your experience so far, and obviously 4.5 years is the experience you've had, I guess, technically, with Nevus Outreach so far, what advice would you give to a new parent of a child with a nevus? Like, if you had to sum it up in, like, say one main point.
I'll let you go first.
I would say to reach out, reach out to others who have had similar experience. Again, as you guys said, don't be afraid to share what your fears, your concerns are with those people that have had the experience. Get involved in Nevus Outreach, even if it's just being part of the Facebook community. Don't be afraid to message people, ask questions. Yeah, that would be my one big thing. If I had to sum it up in a couple of words, would just be to reach out.
I would say the same thing. I think one of the best things, the Nevus group reaching out to has been the best resource, not only reaching out to their parents, but also adult Nevus owners. Everyone's been so helpful and so nice and so supportive. And at the very beginning, it was really nice to have them not only as a resource, but also other people saying, everything's going to be okay. Just enjoy the newborn stage. It's going to be good. I felt like my feelings and my thoughts in that moment were, they validated everything I was feeling. And my concerns, and that it was normal to feel those things. They didn't dismiss them. And then also to let me know that they had been there before. It's been the best support group